Welcome to the Strange North channel. Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 really cool neighborhoods in the city of Edmonton that you may want to consider if you're looking to move to the city or if you plan on visiting at some point in the future. I did a video of my top 5 neighborhoods in the city a couple weeks ago, and I do stand by that list. That is my personal top 5 list, but there are so many other incredible neighborhoods in the city, and so I wanted to highlight 5 more of them in this video. And again, I'm very biased towards the central region of Edmonton. I just find the areas around downtown, Whyte Ave, the university, and the central river valley to be the most interesting areas of the city. And this list is not ranked in order of importance. These are just 5 more neighborhoods that are very cool in the city of Edmonton. So at number 1 is the neighborhood of downtown. And yes, this is an obvious pick. In most cases, a city's downtown is going to have a ton of interesting things. And Edmonton is definitely no exception. I'm going to get into some of the living options in this neighborhood, but I just wanted to briefly list all of the services and attractions that are available if you're in the neighborhood of downtown. Besides all of the tall buildings and the central business district, you've got the whole arts district in the east side of downtown with the Winspear Center, the art gallery, and of course the Citadel Theatre. You've got the fairly new Royal Alberta Museum, the Law Courts, the Stanley Milner Library, which is the largest library in the city, and it has a ton of really cool services inside. Of course, you have the whole Ice District with Rogers Arena and the new hotels and casino and restaurants. You have Canada Place if you need to access any government services such as getting your passport. And on the south end of downtown, you have the Alberta Legislative Building and the surrounding grounds. So Edmonton's downtown has a ton of services and attractions and things to see and do. And this would definitely be a really interesting neighborhood in the city to live. Jasper Avenue is downtown's main street. This is a prominent street that runs throughout north central Edmonton, and it runs through a bunch of other neighborhoods. And downtown on Jasper Avenue, as expected, you'll find a collection of restaurants and shops. Some of the restaurants on Jasper Avenue are world class, and they are routinely listed on top restaurants in Canada lists. And some are a bit more casual, and they've become local favorites over the years. I've covered 104th Street north of Jasper Avenue in another video extensively, but this is really the downtown area's most popular collection of condos and restaurants and shops. This is a really cool street. And if you're looking for living options, you can find some high-rise condos as well as some loft-style condos and apartments and some converted warehouse buildings. There is a rough area north of Jasper Avenue from about 103rd Street to 109th Street that is known as the Warehouse District. Throughout this area, you can find a collection of old warehouses that have been converted into office and retail spaces as well as condos and apartments. I've been in a couple of these converted buildings over the years, and some of them have really cool condo units, so this could be a very cool area to live in the city. And you'll find a variety of other apartment buildings throughout the neighborhood, and a whole bunch especially right along Jasper Avenue. Downtown Edmonton is right up against the river valley, and so the southern portion of downtown goes down into the valley. And this whole area has a very large collection of high-rise apartments and condos. And I've been in a couple of these apartment buildings in this area over the years, and they offer incredible views of not only downtown but the whole river valley area and the south side as well. The most well-known farmers market in Edmonton is definitely the Strathcona Market, but downtown also has a very popular farmers market in this really cool historic building year-round every Saturday and Sunday. And of course, downtown Edmonton is very well connected with transit. All along Jasper Avenue and in a few other areas, you can find access points for the underground LRT stations. And by the time you're watching this video, the above-ground LRT stations for the long-awaited Valley Line will be open, and this will take you to the southeastern portion of Edmonton. And of course, there are buses downtown that will take you pretty much anywhere throughout the city you need to go. And you can also access buses that will connect you with some of Edmonton's surrounding communities such as St. Albert and Sherwood Park. And of course, I'm stating the obvious, but Edmonton's downtown really has a ton of stuff to do and to see, and it's a really interesting neighborhood to walk around and explore. And of course, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city, and so besides all of the modern architecture and high rises, it also has a ton of old historic buildings. And honestly, downtown Edmonton has had its issues, but people are working hard to make this a very vibrant place to live and work and explore. And it has a ton of really cool condo and apartment buildings, including some that give you incredible views of the city. And honestly, if you're moving to Edmonton and you want to get to know the city, you should definitely consider moving downtown. There's a ton of stuff to do within the neighborhood, and it's centrally located and very well connected with other areas of the city. And honestly, it's a lot more beautiful and interesting than you might think. At number 2 is the neighborhood of Highlands. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. It's fairly central, but it's not quite part of the central core. It's just to the northeast of the downtown area. This is an older neighborhood of the city. It's very green, it has large trees and beautiful park space. And this neighborhood in particular has really taken care to preserve a lot of its older homes. And as you're walking through this neighborhood, you'll find a lot of municipal historic sites. These homes are essentially protected to preserve the history of the city. Ada Boulevard on the southern edge of the neighborhood, right up against the river valley in particular, has some incredible homes, including the iconic McGrath Mansion, which is now owned by Concordia University, but this is one of the most well-known properties in the entire city. And I just find that this whole neighborhood has a ton of character. It has a ton of older homes and big trees and a ton of greenery. Edmonton is fairly well known for its strong community leagues, and many neighborhoods have community halls. And the community league in Highlands has a lawn bowling facility that is open during the summer months. And of course, Highlands is well known within the city for 112th Ave. This is the main road running through the neighborhood, and there are a couple blocks along 112th Ave that have a collection of very popular shops and restaurants. The beautiful historic Gibbard block has a bunch of these popular shops, and this building was actually one of the first buildings in the city to have power and water. And the businesses in this little area draw people from across the city, and it's becoming very popular. And I just think overall, this neighborhood is one of the best in the city. It's well connected with other areas of the city. It's right beside the river valley, and it has a bunch of fantastic local businesses. And the neighborhood has really done a fantastic job of preserving its history. And so it's an excellent neighborhood to walk around and explore if you're new to the city, but it could be an excellent place to live as well. Okay, at number 3 is Cloverdale. This is one of the 3 neighborhoods down in the river valley in the central area of Edmonton, very close to the river. You've got Riverdale, which I covered in my last neighborhoods video, Rossdale, which I want to cover in another video because this is a very cool neighborhood as well. And then you've got Cloverdale. Honestly, Cloverdale is a very beautiful neighborhood, and there's no area quite like it in the city. So the northern portion of Cloverdale borders the river. Basically, if you're in this neighborhood, you're minutes from the river. Henrietta Edwards Park will connect you with the trail system as well as the Tuatana Bridge, which by the time you're watching this will be open for business. The long-awaited Valley line of the LRT includes a stop in Cloverdale, and this is really big for the neighborhood. Yes, Edmonton's transit has had a really bad rap lately and has a ton of issues, but honestly, the LRT can be very convenient if you're near a station or if you have one in the neighborhood. It can connect you with other areas of the city fairly quickly. And so the opening of the LRT Valley line is a big deal for people living in this area of the city. In terms of living options, it's mostly single-family homes, and the properties are a bit smaller compared to other neighborhoods of the city. The neighborhood is varied, there's a lot of new construction, but it also has a lot of older character homes as well. You also have a collection of row houses and condo buildings, and there's a prominent condo complex on the northern edge of the neighborhood bordering the river. I covered this attraction at length in another video, but this neighborhood also contains the Mutart Conservatory. This is really one of the most iconic structures in the city, and this is a year-round greenhouse and botanical garden, and it's a beautiful place to check out. The neighborhood is also well known for Gallagher Hill and Gallagher Park. This is the site of the Folk Fest, which takes place every summer. This is one of the main summer festivals in Edmonton, and during this event, this entire neighborhood has thousands of people all over it. Cloverdale also has the Edmonton Ski Club, which utilizes the large hill on its southern border. The ski club is actually one of a few that Edmonton has within its borders, and it's also used for mountain biking and hiking in the summer. And you can get one of the best views of downtown Edmonton in the city from the top of the ski hill or Gallagher Hill. And honestly, if you're new to the city and you're looking for places to explore, you should definitely check this place out. There's a lot to do within the neighborhood itself, and it's very centrally located. You're minutes from downtown and Whyte Ave. And I just think that Cloverdale is overall one of the best neighborhoods in the city. Okay, at number 4 is the neighborhood of Ritchie. This is located just to the southeast of Strathcona, which I covered in my previous Edmonton neighborhoods video. And although it's close to the busy area of Old Strathcona, it very much maintains its own identity, and within the neighborhood itself, there are a bunch of very popular local businesses. The northern portion of Ritchie borders 82nd Avenue, and there are a bunch of popular businesses along this road. Maven and Grace is a very popular shop offering gifts, antiques, vintage items, and housewares. And the very popular Erse General Store is a long-standing local company with a very good reputation. This is sort of a health food grocery store selling natural and organic products. And then further into the neighborhood along 76th Avenue is another very popular collection of restaurants and shops. In 2017, the Ritchie Market opened, and this contains a variety of very popular businesses, including Biera, which is a very highly rated restaurant within the city. Surrounding Ritchie Market are a collection of other businesses, including Donut Party and the Blue Chair Cafe, and a bunch of other businesses and shops. Compared to other central core neighborhoods in Edmonton, you're not going to find any high-rises in this neighborhood. It's mostly single-family homes, but along Whyte Avenue on the northern edge of the neighborhood, there are a bunch of apartment buildings. And the eastern portion of the neighborhood bordering the Mill Creek area has a bunch of condo complexes as well. The Mill Creek feeds into the North Saskatchewan River, and it has a bit of a ravine system that stretches into the southeastern portion of Edmonton. It's a great area for walking or cycling, and it connects you with the main River Valley trail system. Ritchie is definitely well known within the city for having a strong community league, and they have many local events, and they maintain a couple beautiful parks within the neighborhood, including a tennis court and a hockey rink. And Ritchie is very well connected to not only Whyte Ave, but downtown and the south side through 99th Street. And years ago when I lived in this neighborhood, I just found it to be very convenient. It was fairly easy to get to the major areas of the city, and the neighborhood itself is very beautiful and a lot quieter than the really busy areas around Old Strathcona. And I definitely consider this to be one of the top neighborhoods in the city. And at number 5 to close out this list is the neighborhood of Garno. This is located directly west of the popular neighborhood of Strathcona, and it is sort of considered a continuation of the general Strathcona area, but it is a distinct neighborhood with its own vibe. The main commercial street of Garno is 109th Street. This connects the south side of Edmonton with the north side, and so Garno is definitely well situated if you want to travel to different areas of the city. This street has a bunch of popular restaurants and shops, everything from hipster sandwich cafes to McDonald's. This is the original Remedy location. Remedy is a very popular Edmonton chain that has locations throughout the city, and they specialize in chai tea and Indian food, but they have a variety of baked goods and hot and cold drinks. The Garno Theatre is a very popular art house theatre that shows indie and local films, and it often takes part in film festivals as well. High Level Diner and Sugar Bowl Cafe on the northern end of the neighborhood are some of the most popular cafes in the city. And I mentioned this in another video, but I think that Garno is a really good starting point for exploring the city of Edmonton. Whyte Avenue is very close, the university is directly to the west, and you're just a bridge away from the north side of Edmonton and downtown. And honestly, this neighborhood has some of the coolest old character buildings in the city. The Community Arts Center has a variety of classes and workshops that you can take, and right outside this facility you have a nice little park as well as tennis courts and volleyball courts. And if you're visiting Edmonton, you've probably been to Whyte Ave, but sometimes people miss the whole Garno area north on 109th Street. And this neighborhood has a real variety of living options. It has a bunch of single-family homes as well as apartments and condos of various sizes. You're also going to find some beautiful high-rise as well, including a couple that are right along Saskatchewan Drive overlooking the River Valley and downtown. And it's just one of the most interesting and vibrant neighborhoods in the city, and it's centrally located and in the immediate vicinity of a bunch of other really cool stuff as well. And so Garno is definitely one of Edmonton's top neighborhoods. I hope you found that interesting and informative, and if you want to check out more Edmonton neighborhoods, a couple weeks ago I did my personal top 5 neighborhoods in Edmonton video. Those are my personal favorites, but the ones I just listed are also incredible. I've lived in a couple of them and they have so much to offer. And of course, Edmonton has a bunch of other really beautiful neighborhoods as well, and I'd like to cover some of those in further videos down the road. And please comment below on your own personal favorite neighborhoods in the city of Edmonton. I'm interested to see what other people's personal favorites are. And if you'd like to watch more of my videos in general, please subscribe to my channel. I upload at least one new video per week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Strange North channel.